Hello, 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 what is up, you damn jerks? Gaming boy, good to see ya. How's it going, Slothinator? Hello. Oh, that music's a little loud. Hold on, let me turn that down. Maybe that's a little better. Hero, good to see ya. Don't know when you last played? A year ago? Oh, the game's changed quite a bit since then. Quite a bit since then. MS Gamer, is it Quasimon time? Oh yeah, it is. Best intro ever. Thanks, Gaming Boy. It's pretty awesome. I love it. You know what would be really fun? Although I guess I could potentially get sued is if we actually put that intro in the beginning of Shotgun Farmers when the game starts. But I imagine 20th Century Fox will not be happy with that. How's it going, guys? Happy New Year. Good to see you in 2020. This is our first ever stream in the new decade, right? Is it a new decade? The 20th decade of the 2000th year. It's pretty crazy. Pretty freaking crazy. So today we're gonna do Fox learn copyright strike. Oh my god, that is an awesome idea for an attack name. What's up, Dr. Argus? Happy New Year, dude. Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Today we're gonna do something that I've never ever done before. Oh, also slight change. I got rid of my green screen. For anyone who's been watching the new streams, green screen has not really been working out recently because my lighting in here changed a lot. I don't actually have room in my new apartment to put up like a lighting setup. And so I got a black screen instead of a green screen. So it's super high tech. It's just a big black screen right behind me, but it solves the problem. People can still walk around behind me and I don't have to worry about the lighting changing. As you can see right now, it's super bright because it's like snowy outside. So it's reflecting extra sunlight into here and it'll start to get darker as the stream goes on. Didn't realize Twitch did non-purple merch. Yeah, this is a really old shirt. This is from PAX East 2017 maybe that they gave these out. Gray Twitch shirts. Kinda quiet compared to older streams. That's because Gaming Boy, everyone's still hibernating. Everyone knows game devs hibernate in the new year because they have to start new projects. Okay, so let's start. If you haven't been around in a while, we started a new project. We're currently calling it Project Quasimon. It is a monster capture survival game. My filter is falling off. I haven't actually worked on it almost at all since our last stream. I just adjusted a couple of things, but I've been really focused on the Shotgun Farmers console work. So that's been taking up pretty much most of my time. And so I'm kind of splitting up my time right now between working on Shotgun Farmers console version and Project Quasimon. So I mostly work on this on stream. Now, a small change I made since last stream is that previously we were using world space canvases to render the health bars for the monsters in the level. As you can see those Dogomons over there. And that's actually how I've been doing health bars in Shotgun Farmers. So it's the only way I really knew how. I switched over to a different way of doing it, which is actually using screen space canvases. So it should look almost exactly the same. It's not really much of a difference, but except for the fact that the health bars now render over the player and render over other objects in the scene. So one of the downsides to World Space Canvases is actually constantly scaling and shrinking the health bar to fit on the screen. And in Shotgun Farmers, that presents a lot of funny issues sometimes. When you're zooming the camera, health bar will grow to like 10 times the size. If a player goes behind a doorway, their health bar actually goes behind the doorway. And so it'll be occluded, so you might only see half their health bar. If they're like, it's like this Dogomon, if he was behind that cube, I'd actually be able to see half his health bar. And so I played a bunch of games to see how they do it. And I noticed most games actually render their health bars in screen space so that you can always see the proper information. Do I have chroma key on OBS? Oh snap, you might be right, Dr. Argus. I think I forgot to turn off my chroma key. There we go. Thanks, Doctor. You're right. Alright, it's super bright. Let's see if we can adjust it. Turn down the gamma. Turn down the gamma rays. We're getting multiple games mostly stressful. It's actually kind of nice right now. I think once Project Quasimon's further along, it might be getting a little scary, but I think at that point, work on Shotgun Farmers should hopefully be less. It's nice now because when I'm really tired of one or stuck on something, so like right now, so over the holiday week, I think it was Christmas or New Year's, I forget when, but Sloth and I finally got Shotgun Farmer's networking working on console, which was a huge step that I thought was going to take way longer than it did. It ended up taking only like 3 or 4 days. I thought it might take like a month or something to get it working. So we got networking working on console, except we're stuck on a problem right now where basically when you load in to a scene, it takes too long to load, and so Photon disconnects the player. And so I was actually working on that this morning, trying to figure out some solutions for it. And so what's nice is when I'm stuck on something like that and I don't know what to do next, I can just close Unity, take a breath, and work on something a little bit more fun. So I can just switch over to a more fun project, because right now everything in this project is super fun. Nothing matters. There's no pain and... Oh, I thought that was my Dogomon I just punched. There's no pain and suffering because it doesn't really matter what we get right or wrong. We're just kind of doing this for fun. So actually there's a bug in this game right now. So the way I'm doing collision is with, I think it's with an overlap sphere right now. And so if I punch the dead center of this dog, I actually do double damage. Krasenstein!
Coffee on me. For me? Can I buy new game PLS?
Krasen, thank you so very much for 38 freaking months support. How's it going, dude? Coffee on you? Coffee on me. Can you buy a new game, please? Not yet, but hopefully this year I'll be able to sell a new game. I forgot what that felt like. Oh, sorry, Dogomon. So yeah, if you're curious what we've done so far in Project Quasimon, we've got our player moving. We've got our Dogomon here that follows you. So that's like the first monster in my inventory. I did a bunch of placeholder UI work. You can see all that UI on the bottom. None of it actually works. Can you pre-order? Yes, you can pre-order Project Quasimon by by mailing me a single strand of your hair at 123fakestreet.com. So we got these monsters that spawn just like they're randomly just placed on the level right now. Health bars for them, and I can actually hit them, and they take damage. So that's pretty much what we worked on so far, and then they can die and have a death animation. I started listing kind of the key things that I think we need to keep working on for this prototype, and I split it up into 2 pillars. So if this is a monster capture survival game, so the 2 pillars in there, because it's pretty much two genres of games being combined together. Dog punching, what's up, Lemony? How's it going? So the 2 pillars here are monster capture and survival. And so what I think I need to do to progress in the prototype is to keep building toward these 2 pillars. So once these 2 are actually complete, then we can have a decent overview of how the game feels to play. What if I come visit and we hang out instead of giving your hair? I mean, hanging out is cool, I guess, but it's not as good as being able to clone you from your own hair. I guess if we hang out while you're sleeping, I could snip a piece of pieces of hair from you, so that could work out. So yeah, we started working a little bit on the combat system. Of course, there's a lot more to go on combat. We need the enemy to attack you, enemy walking around. And the problem with this is that this actually integrates a little bit more into AI, which I'm a little intimidated to work on right now, and is not actually as fun. So I'm procrastinating this stuff a little bit. So I'm procrastinating combat. We've got the basics of combat, but we don't have actual, one-on-one combat because the monsters aren't hitting back. And then the actual taming part of combat. And then the other pillar is survival. So we need some sort of inventory system, which is what I want to start working on today. So I've never actually coded inventories. I'm sure plenty of people have. I never have, so that's going to be interesting to find out. So I want to make an inventory where you can drag and drop your items and then put your items into the hotbar down here in the middle, so you can use them with your number keys. Pick up items from the world, drop items into the world, manage your inventory. And the goal is that once I have an inventory system, what we should be able to do with our inventory system is chop down trees, pick up wood, move the wood around my inventory, and that means that part of the survival game is working. Shotgun Farmers technically has an inventory, yes, but you can't actually do anything with it. So Shotgun Farmers has a fixed inventory, which is really just a list of what weapons you have. So there's just gun, grenade, shovel. I kept it as simple as possible because I wanted the game to be super simple. But you can't actually manage your inventory, so you can't move items around and stuff. So I know I'm going to code the basics of it. What I don't know is how to code the UI stuff yet, where you can actually drag an item from slot 1 to slot 2. But I watched a couple of tutorials. It didn't seem too difficult. So hopefully we should be able to do that in theory. I don't know. But yeah, all the UI in the HUD is just there for fun right now. So I'm thinking potentially for how the UI might be. I think it's a little bit big right now. I'm probably going to shrink it, but there below you'd see the name of the character you're currently controlling. So if I were to control my monster, it would show his name and health bar. If I switch back to myself, it would show my name and health bar. The yellow bar is the XP bar for whichever character you're controlling. So there's going to have to swap back and forth, interestingly, somehow. Below that is your hotbar, like any survival game. So it's like your axe, your wood, your whatever items you put in there for your character, your different weapons and stuff. And when you switch to your monster, what I want to do is that hotbar is going to change from, because your Dogomon can't use an axe and stuff, so the hotbar is going to change over to be their skills. So it'll be like 1 to 4, 1 to 6 or whatever. So they have like a fireball attack or a ice ball attack, then that will be their hotbar keys there. And then over on the left, the other set of 1 to 6 will be, I think, where I show what monsters you have, and so you can switch between them. Right now I'm thinking either between doing a wheel where you can select which monster you want to summon, or just doing like shift and then a number key, or like some key, like hold one button, hold a number key so you can swap really quickly. The wheel might actually end up being more fun. But the 1 to 6 on the far left bottom will show like the health and levels for all the monsters currently in your party. They're just saying party, not inventory. Monsters are an item. Then I got this, apparently I have a first person mode that goes into my belly. I didn't even know that. That's interesting. So this is the axe that I got in the asset store so we could practice on, as that being our inventory item. There should be a Quasimon that represents a company known for cease and desist and copyright strikes. I feel like that's asking for a cease and desist and copyright strike. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be Dogomon in first person? Oh my goodness. How is this even possible? When did I do this? I don't even remember. Was I sleep coding? Oh, one thing I also added, which I think maybe it was on last stream, but I made it so that when the camera goes too close to an actor, it actually disables their renderer. This prevents issues, which actually happens in Chocolate Farmers a lot, where you can see through a player, like you're inside of them. So if you get too close to yourself, it hides your body. All right. Guess we should make something or do something with our lives. So let's make a new canvas. I'm gonna call this inventory. Where are you getting your lewd content now? Ah, yes. Quasi TV is home to the lewdest content in all of the Twitchosphere. So I don't actually know what our UI is gonna look like yet for like our inventory and skills and stuff, but we have a basic idea where it's, you know, we're just gonna start with a box in the middle with slots and stuff that we can drag around. What's up, Uphill? How's it going? Disable that. What the hell? And let's make text Mesh Pro inventory. Ah yes, the famed fancy text. Make another panel. Say 20 padding on each side. And this is going to be a grid layout group. Let's say each cell is 50 by 50 for now. So in there we're going to have another panel, or I guess a button. Why isn't this doing anything? What? Why does it look like that? Upper left, upper right, lower right. Start access horizontal, upper left, upper center. This is not how the grid stuff worked in... Maybe it's because of this padding? Or I have to make a container for it? So you go inside of there. There we go. I feel like we need more second-person games. Maybe we can have the trainer control the Dogomon, but like through the trainer's perspective in order to solve victory puzzles all RPGs have. Just a thought. Second person game, so you're controlling the trainer, control the Dogomon, but like through the trainer's perspective. Interesting. So you're still like looking through the eyes of the trainer, but also the dog? Or do you mean you're like commanding it like where to go? We're a little bit bigger. Okay, so we're gonna call this item slot. Oh wait, we actually have a prefab for this already. And our action bar, inventory slot. We're gonna use the same prefab that we use for the bottom of the inventory there. So this prefab comes with empty, an icon you can place inside, which, let's just put this weird chicken thing. Whoa, where are these from? From one of my assets, I guess. Let's put these, this wings. There we go. And the eyes of the trainer controlling the dog. That could be interesting. Probably want to give this some padding. It's not touching the edges. We have a border, we have a value title, which is the numerical value of stuff in there, and then slot title, which not all inventory things will have. So let's call this the container. Items, let's call this grid container. Call this title. Okay. So, placeholders are very important, yeah. I mean, a lot of times my placeholders just become the actual assets in the game. This is the inventory view. I think I'm gonna make a different script for handling the actual drag and drop. Let's take a look at what's in here. Okay, there's nothing in here already, so we can use this script. Okay. So we're going to use a couple of Unity interfaces. We're going to use eye pointer down handler. I guess we need the Unity event system. We're going to use the eye drag handler, eye drop handler, and eye and drag handler. These are all the built-in Unity interfaces that help us drag and drop stuff. I gotta implement all these interfaces. Cool. Oh, the handlers will be mine. We're also going to need a canvas group. Which means this thing is going to require a canvas group. Handlers, so these are built-in Unity interfaces which basically come with these functions: on drag, on drop, on and drag, on pointer down. And those are in Unity, whenever you hit different UI elements, if they have this interface implemented, then when these things happen, so when you actually click on this object, when you start dragging, when you let go of this object, these functions will trigger, and so then we can do some code in here. So it's kind of like built in Unity so we can handle drag and drop situations. But we have to code in ourselves what happens when you start dragging, what happens when you drop, what happens when you click, etc. We also need a reference to the rect transform. I really wish like these basic get components, like I could write a script to make them built in somehow. Like some sort of custom Visual Studio plugin to just like generate them for me whenever I want them. And we also need a reference to the root canvas, it looks like. We're gonna do interesting. What is the root canvas for this one? I'm assuming it's gonna be the, I don't understand if it's the canvas that it's in or the absolute root canvas. I'm guessing it's just the canvas that it's in. Should be this one. Yeah, Unity has a bunch of built-in interfaces that are pretty handy, mainly for these kind of UI situations. I think I've only ever used them for like on pointer enter exit stuff. So the way the tutorial meant to do it, which is interesting, is you find your canvas, and you set it as your transform, and then you do a while. So you keep checking the parent, and you say root canvas equals my canvas dot get component canvas. So it's doing a do, which I've never actually done this before, but this is interesting. Let's see. So do this. While my canvas equals null. Or sorry, while root canvas equals null. So until root canvas is found, it just keeps going up the parent thing. But I mean, this would fail if there's no canvas, but I guess there has to be a canvas, so it'll be fine. What's up, Greenie? You hate making games, so you watch me do it? That's very masochistic. I'm glad I could give you guys the enjoyment of making a game without the pain and suffering that comes with it. I also need a start position, so vector 3, I guess vector 2, start position. It's our rect transform. Anchored position. Let's rename this to start anchored position. I gotta get better with my keyboard shortcuts in Visual Studio. Making a game is long and hard. Oh yeah, it is. Just do game dev, but got bored after a couple games and moved to hard sciences. Like rock sciences? Like metamorphic rocks? Okay, so when the pointer's down, we're going to say use item, right? So it's like public void use, use. I guess that's not actually how it's going to work, because in the UI, when you click on it, let's just call this on pressed. And we're not going to do anything with that just yet. Let's go work on drag. So for on drag, we're going to say rect transform dot anchored position plus equals event data dot delta divided by my root canvas dot, oh, so that's what the scale factor is for. Okay. What's up, Southern Cross? How's it going? Fun detected. That's an awesome email. Trying to make games, but I have been instead playing video games like Octopath Traveler, nice. Half-Life, nice. Smash Bros, nice. Luigi's Mansion 3, haven't played that yet. It looks cool. Computational physics, but actually it's fun since there's quite a bit of game dev. But it's quite a bit of game dev, but working people's game dev with simulations and model stuff. Wait. It's fun since quite a bit of game dev, but working with people's game dev simulations. That sounds really intense. Are you saying that a lot of the work you do in there is like similar to game dev, or a lot of it is used in game development for like simulations? so we're going to say on end drag. So this is for when you let go of the thingy. We're just going to set for now. So we don't have like a way to drop it into the world. So this is basically if you drag the item away from the UI. We're just going to put it back to start anchored position. You have to figure out later if it's valid, like you're dropping into the world or other things like that. Then we're going to change the canvas group. We'll set the alpha to 1, and we're going to set blocks raycast true. And on begin drag, I actually don't have that implemented, do I? Where does that come from? On begin drag. The video's buffering. Oh no! Is my internet bad? Anybody else getting buffering? I get the feel of joy making things that move around on screen, tweaking them, but it's like adding math and science to a model in real life. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's probably really rewarding when you see like real life results from it. Base input module before a drag is carried. I begin drag handler. Seems okay, thanks, Sloth. I begin drag. Oh, I guess I don't have that one. I begin drag hand. We need your interface function. On begin drag. And for that one, bring it up here. When something starts dragging, we are going to lower its opacity and say it no longer blocks raycast, so you don't accidentally actually click on the thing you're dragging. And we're going to do transform.set as last sibling. And what this does is it sorts this UI element on top of all other UI elements, so that when you're hovering and moving it around, it's on top of everything. Using low latency? Okay, cool. No buffering? Thanks, Uphill. We'll focus on how much work I have to do to have all this stuff on the top of my head like you do. You know, it kind of blows my mind. Like, I can't remember people's birthdays. I can't remember what I'm supposed to do tomorrow. I can't remember when I'm supposed to like go to an appointment for something. But somehow I can keep this entire game's library and where all the functions are and how all these components work in my head. Maybe that's why I can't remember anything else, because like my entire brain is just filled with the Shotgun Farmer's code library and Skyhook's code library and now this code library. So let's just duplicate this a bunch of times. We're actually going to generate these at runtime, but for now I'm just going to duplicate a bunch just to see if anything's actually happening with all the crap we just did. What surely happens, I should be able to drag this around, I guess. Oh, these need a canvas. These need a canvas group. That should now be applied to all of them, okay. And I'm not going to have a mouse cursor. Actually, you know what we should do? We should copy this into a new scene. And we'll just do this. Oh, God. Oh, my. We'll just do this in a new scene so we're not bogged down by all of the gameplay logic in the other scene. Am I used to the prefabs? Still not. No, I still try to edit prefabs and I end up not editing it and just changing it and making a variation, but I still haven't really worked on, I've maybe only spent like, what, 6 or 7 hours in Unity 2019, so it's going to probably be a while till I get used to it. Okay, so nothing happens. That's because we probably don't have an event system. Need one of those. Oop. How about now? All right, so here we go. I can drag one thing. Fascinating. Next, let's add the event system back here. I'm going to turn off the grid view. Something tells me that's actually screwing with this. Infinite wings. Okay, there we go. So it was the grid view. The grid view logic was overriding my logic. We really only need the grid view to set this up. I watched a great talk. If you're working on performance stuff for Unity, there's a really old talk where the guy goes through the Unity source code and talks about all the problems Unity has in its source code for performance. He was actually worked at Unity, which is cool. And one of those things is that layout groups, like the grid layout group here, are actually really bad for performance because when you change a layout group, it affects like all the canvases in that area and has to like redraw them every single frame or something. What's up, Mr. Waffle? How's it going? Okay, so we've got stuff moving around. And let's just ship it now. I can actually click these. Are these buttons? These aren't actually buttons. I guess it's fine. They don't have to be UI buttons because I can just manually click them. Okay. We've got begin drag, we've got end drag. We don't have on, we have on drag to move it around. Now we need to figure out drop and pointer down doesn't do anything. So what we can do with pointer down is we can say, we can activate it or on press it. So we can say, I'm trying to think of the good wording for it. So like when an item is highlighted and not highlighted, what's the opposite of highlighting something? Unhighlighting something? De-highlighting something? Our border, so let's say like if border.color equals color.yellow. Set a color here. I guess I just answered my own question. I wrote active and inactive. Oh, select, deselect. There we go. That is perfect. Select border, color, deselected border, color. Okay, so we're gonna rename this. Let's practice our hotkey. So the hotkey for rename is, I believe it's just Control R, right? Okay, that didn't work. You gotta press it twice. Yeah, you gotta press Control RR. So on selected and public void on deselected. Okay. And on pointer down. We'll probably have on pointer enter for hover stuff. On pointer enter. On pointer exit. Look at all these interfaces. G.O. Willikers. Move this to the top so it stops getting in my way. On hover. So when the pointer enters, we're hovering over something. When the pointer exits, we deselect it. When the pointer enters, we select it. Now what we don't have is we need like a group manager that can deselect all of our other elements in the group. Let's not worry about that right now. And we're gonna work on, dropping it. So if we're dropping it, I wanna swap two items. Let's see if this works first. I wanna be able to like drag, we'll change the icon so we know when stuff's actually moving around. So let's change every other one from, it's gonna be too much work. Never mind. Well, you know what we'll do instead? We'll do a little bit of a cheat. We'll say count title. Count title.text equals empty string plus random.range from 0 to 100. So now I'll have like random item counts, and so we'll know that we have different items. Interfaces shouldn't impact performance anyway. Pretty much all interfaces are doing is setting a requirement in your code that this function has to be in there. So it's just, it's the same thing as using like inheritance, or similar to using inheritance. So like every script inheritance mono behavior. You could have scripts inherit all kinds of stuff. So like each one of these interfaces basically say, this script must have this function, and that's it. It doesn't actually affect like compile time or anything like that. It's just really for the way your script is structured. So the game doesn't actually know about any of that. It's just the code that's saying, oh, this class can't exist unless this one function is implemented. Okay, so we have 25, 96, and all stuff. So I click on them. They all turn gray because I never actually assigned the color. Let's go here. Oh yeah, OnDraft's not. So let's say selected border color is like a yellowish, orangish. Turn alpha up, and then deselected border color is just white. Okay, so I can hover, and I didn't apply the prefab. I can hover, I can click. Clicking's not actually doing anything. It's interesting. Oh, because, damn it. So when you press an item, but then you leave it, you've exited it, and so it's no longer considered pressed. So we want to say public bool is active. And here we're going to say is active equals true, is active equals false. And if we're not active, then we get rid of the border color. Okay, I guess we might as well see if that works. So I can click on that, it stays orange, and now I can click on anything, and they all stay orange. Okie dokie. Let's tweet that the stream is live. Totally forgot. So now let's work on dropping. So, how does dropping work? Understand. Let's look up Unity on drop. So it tells you what you're dropping. drop inventory. The dragging we have. How are they doing dropping? Screen point check. Oh. Wait, maybe on drop works differently than I thought. I thought it was calling the thing that I'm holding. I think it's actually calling when you drop something on top of something. If I say if unity and point drag is not equal to null. Say game object dropped equals event data dot pointer drag dot game object. Let's say debug.log dropping on let's name our game object so it's a little bit easier. And also to make this better, we can just say countTitle.text equals transform.sibling index. So that'll actually be in order. So each one will have a unique ID now from 0 to whatever. Or a unique count. So 0 to 13. So if I pick up 0 and I drop it on 4, oh, so I'm actually getting a call on number 4. What's up, Sulomates? We are making a survival monster vector game. So if I take 8 and I drop it on 5, I'm actually getting, Unity's actually sending me back slot 5. So I know I'm dropping this onto this. Fascinating. Now the other thing is, I want to drag this, but there should still be like a slot thing there. I guess that's just a visual thing, so I don't have to worry about that yet. So I want to drag 8 to 5. I need to tell them to switch places. I guess I just take their sibling index? It's not gonna... Oh, I guess I just change their positions. So... public vector 2. So when you drop something, we're going to get the inventory view of it. We're gonna swap these two. Dr. Argus! Oh my goodness.
Jerk Squad, unite.
Thank you so very much for 17 months of support, dude. You're absolutely amazing. Jerk Squad will live on forever in our hearts and yours. Maybe in our noses. So we can say, we can move my position to their position and their position to my position. So... wait, does my start position get reset when I get dropped? I guess that'll happen. It'll happen here. Okay, so let's take their position. Dropped. Vector 2, vector 2, vector 2 destination. equals dropped dot anchored positions. That's where I want to go. And vector to target is, say, their pos and my pos. My pos. What's up, Dion? Ask away. My pos equals my start anchored position. And we're going to say dropped dot, probably do a move. And that's going to do this. So we're going to, where is it? So we're going to take dropped, move position to my position, and I'm going to move position to their position. So I didn't actually need all these variables, but it helps it, I think, feel a lot more clear and make the code a little bit cleaner. We're going to rename this to target. Let's see what happens. How good am I at MySQL or MS SQL? Not good at all, I'm sorry. I took the class in college and then dumped all the data from my brain. And thankfully I now have Sloth to help us with stuff like that. Okay, so if I take 10 on 5, damn it, they both end up in the same place. Okay, we're getting somewhere, hold on. My position is starting. Oh, I didn't reset my position also. So start anchored position equals their position. If you want to reset my, because when I let stuff go, it goes back to where it belongs. You know, this actually looks like there's a wall behind me, doesn't it? It's kind of convenient. It's like a black wall behind me. Okay. So swap 10 with 3. Damn, why? Okay, hold on. Yes, this should actually happen in move position. If target. My target moves to my position, I move to their position. My position, their position, target anchored position. Yeah, it works pretty well, right, Slaw? From someone who has good experience, got deleted table data from your database, trying to restore it. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Maybe someone in chat might know, but I'm sorry, I don't really know what to do besides cry. 11 to 3. All right, works. So give me 2 numbers and I'll move them over there to prove I'm not a liar. 9 to 13. And of course the visual's all the same, so it looks like it's the same thing right now. We need to unhighlight the ones that are active as well. All right, this is cool. This is a thing. This is becoming a thing. And now we can do, we should be able to do pretty easily is, oh, it is Overwatch music, isn't it? I think it's like a cover of Overwatch song. Also, what's up, Killer Cookie? So when we have our hotbar at the bottom in the game, regular game, we should be able to just drag anything from our inventory into the hotbar and it'll swap with that. But nothing actually knows, no part of the game actually knows any of this is happening. That's going to be its own thing, I guess. When we drop into a hotbar item, we'll have to tell the hotbar like, yo, 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 your hotbar thing has changed. Because currently there's no actual list keeping track of all that. Yeah, because like you'll have to know, you have to save this stuff. Like when a player loads their game, they expect their inventory to be in the exact same order it was previously. Damn. RPGs are a lot of work. It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Let's work on unhighlighting things. So I'm going to create something called a button group. And I need to make some class, some base class. I call it mega button, but it's not as useful. UI button, I think, is taken by the editor. GUI button, probably taken. I could just call it item button, but this is more extendable than that. This is a class that's going to extend on selected, on deselected. Selectable? I guess selectable button? Because there's already a selectable class in Unity as well. Let's say public class selectable button. Extends mono behavior. That's going to have the functions on selected, on deselected, on hover. That's on pointer down, on pointer. Okay, so these are coming too. Maybe this should be an interface. Let's undo what I just did. So I'm realizing it's going to be very different from buttons, like from other other types of UI elements. What's up, Volt Killer? How's it going? Call as public interface selectable button. Studying some modeling stuff, nice. But what's weird is this interface also requires, well, I guess no, won't. We'll just have these 3 functions in it. Unselected, on deselected, and on hover. I want to say you just put a semicolon. I don't know if these actually, do you declare if they're public or not here? Probably. Okay, so you don't do public. As you can see, I'm not super versed with interfaces, but I'm learning. Studying some modeling stuff, nice. New project's going okay. Haven't worked on it much, but just getting back into it. So this inventory view will now be an selectable button. And a button group. Basically have public void on new button selected, and we'll keep a list of selectable buttons. Let's say void on awake in case these are pre-generated. Let's go through all of our children. Measure the child count, and if transform get child's let's do selectable button, but I love using the word but in my code. It always makes you giggle when I come back to it. I know I'm very mature. So if we have a but, then buttons.add but. If you have the opportunity of using but in your own job, why wouldn't you? But is not equal to null. I think you can get component interfaces. I hope so. We'll find out. On new button selected, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to iterate over all of our buttons. Actually, we can just keep a reference to our last active button. And say we don't want a null but. That's true. Just that is absolutely true. If active button is not equal to null, then active button not on deselected. We just disable our last active button. I guess that's all we have to do. And our iSelectable buttons. Wait, so this is what I struggle with interfaces. I can't put a variable in here, right? That's why I think I struggle so much between interfaces and variables. Let's see, interfaces, unity, variable. So I struggle between when I should be using interfaces and inheritance. I don't actually know if you can put variables in. Maybe you can't. Well, let's just try, I guess. Say canvas group, or not canvas group, button group. Interfaces cannot connect. Let's call this void set button group. And here we'll store our button group. We find a but, and then we say but dot set button group this, so we let it know about its button group. Any reason C# can't have variables, have to make abstract classes for them. Gotcha. Then it's annoying because I need one class just for this one variable, and then but if I make a class with empty functions, then that's also dumb. And so I guess this way is a kind of an okay workaround. Thanks, Lemony. So the button group is always keeping track of the last active button, and if you select a new button, it disables it. And here, when I'm selected, I have a button group, then button group, active, what did I call it? On new button selected. Pass in this button. Okay. Quite a bit of coding just so that you can click something and click something else. This is yellow. Okay, so now when I deselect something, so if I select 1 and then I select 6, 1 gets deselected. And there we go. That is the joys of game development. Is there a random color thing? That would be okay. Here's all we need here is to bring our button group over. Let's go back to our scene. We can call this the UI test scene. We'll be able to use it again in the future. We can build our UI outside of our game. Our main game is all here in this scene called test. What's up, Haystone? How's it going? So the problem now is we don't actually have a mouse cursor for our inventory. Debugging today, nice. Or awful. Or a little bit of both. So our game hides our mouse cursor. What's up, Varun? Our new game is a monster capture survival game. Currently called Project Quasimon. So let's see. Let's find everything that's hiding our cursor. We're bringing up Island and breaking some software. Oof. That sounds like trouble. Oh, okay, I don't actually know which one of these is doing it. Probably this? Relook camera? Cursor component? Rigid body FPS controller? So nothing? What? What are these? Oh, these are... How's Malvar's animation? Is that the wolf? What the hell is hiding my cursor? Same name of game, but in 2D platform style? Nice, that's awesome. I'm assuming it's the camera system. Example character camera. You fixed the pipeline? Damn, dude. That's awesome. What? I guess. What is this from? Are we using third-person camera? I don't think so. Using the example camera from this asset. My cursor is definitely not there. How is this possible? Cursor.lockstate exists in actor input. That's my script. Oh, does lockstate actually hide it too? Get mouse bind 0. What does this mean? Three-hour namespace issue? Oh, that sounds like a beauty. Maybe this line of code? Let's see. Oh, null pointer exception. I went home. You can just ignore those. They're no big deal. Something is definitely taking over my cursor. I guess it could be inheritance somewhere. Where does this class come from? Example character camera comes from kinematic character controller. Doesn't extend anything. Doesn't do any cursor stuff. Guess I could try something crazy. Let's do cursor.visible. Goes true. Also need to create now like a pause menu system so the game knows when it's like paused, aka looking at your inventory versus not. It at least shows it. Do we even have a game controller? Interesting. I don't even have a HUD controller? Oh, okay. I guess these... Oh, right, because the UI doesn't do anything. I totally forgot. I don't even have an inventory UI controller yet. All I have is this thing that can drag and drop. I'm a genius. How do we want to do this? We'll just do pausing in here. Make this oops. So game controller will have a pause, so public tool is paused. And then we're going to reference to like the HUD and the UI and the stuff and some other stuff. What we will say, if is paused, cursor.visible equals true, cursor.lock_state equals lock mode.none. I guess confined. Actually, not sure what the difference is yet. I think confined hopefully keeps it within the bounds of this scene, of the game view. Otherwise, cursor.visible equals false, and lock state equals locked. Don't know why actor input will be doing anything with the cursor. This is the inventory canvas. Let's create another canvas. This is like the... It's not really called the pause menu. What do you call like the whole menu? So we'll just call this the game menu. Seems so generic. Everything's a game menu. I guess everything is a game menu. We'll just call this like a menu view controller. All menu views are going to have these base functions for hiding and showing. Oh, it's dark and spoopy in here. Adjust my color correct. Okay, so menu view controller. Going to require a canvas group. there can do. We'll have a public void show and public void hide. We'll have a universal fade time, so float fade time equals a 0.1. The canvas group dot fade canvas group, which is an extension method I have, to 1. And fade time. And hide equals 0. So this extension method handles turning off the interactability and fading it via dotween. It's handy. For now, we'll just have a public menu view controller. Just call this the pause menu. The game doesn't really have a pause menu because the pause menu is this whole UI. It's not going to be the kind of game where you just like go, like all my games so far have just been a press escape, resume, exit, options, whatever. But this is going to actually have this full RPG menu when you pause the game. I guess we'll just call that the pause menu. And we're going to say toggle pause if it's paused, pause menu dot show, otherwise pause menu dot hide. Eventually the is pause pool will probably turn into a game state, but right now we don't have any other game states, so I'm not even going to bother. I'll just make it a single boolean. So a game controller needs a reference to the pause menu. We want to make sure all menus hide by default. So start off hidden. And we don't actually have any input to pause the game. So actor input, input.get button down, project settings, input manager, cancel, escape, yeah. I'm going to say game controller.minstance game controller.minstance toggle pod. This should not be public, it should just be very private. Alright, here's my game world. If I hit escape, our inventory shows up. I can hide and show it. We gotta turn off the grid view. The grid layout group. This interferes with our drag and drop scripts. I'm gonna keep the component on there so I can easily resort these stuff. So pause, look at my inventory. Now the cool thing we'll be able to do next, actually this just already happened. If I take 13, can I drop it on 7? Almost, interesting, okay. It doesn't actually handle reparenting or anything like that. That's not actually, this shouldn't be reparenting. Because dragging an item from your inventory into your hotbar should cause something else to happen. It should basically move that item into your hotbar, but it'll also still exist in your inventory. And it should not interact with these. Fascinating. I guess these would be turned off. Oh, this would be on. Alright, so we're going to do a different set of code for that. So inventory view. Give it a type. We're going to add a component to it. So let's call this action bar view, action bar item. I wonder how, so how does it work in the game? If you, I guess it would put the, if you drag like item A to your hotbar where item B is, I'm guessing it puts item B back in your inventory and then puts item A into your hotbar. That's gonna be fun. So this will be a prefab variant. So action bar item. Call this action bar item view. And that's where I guess the Unity UI system is going to come in handy quite a bit. This is an inventory item view. So now changes we make to this will still propagate to this one. Propagate, is that the right word? I don't know. What we'll do here is on drop, I'm gonna rename this class. I don't really like inventory view, but I don't know what you call it right now. When we drop something, inventory view equals blah blah blah. We're gonna, first we're gonna say, I guess we'll look for the target, and then we'll say action bar item. And if this is an action item that we're dropping onto, we do something else entirely. Right now we'll just do nothing. So what we need to do is move this item into that slot in the action bar. If an item already exists in that action bar slot, then put it back. I guess it already is in the inventory, so it doesn't matter. Right, because every item in your hotbar is already in your inventory, so it doesn't matter. Right? Pretty sure. Now I'll just do nothing. Really, this should extend this. I'll have to keep them as separate components. Same thing with our monster party bar. So these guys, I'm not really going to interact with them at all right now. So let's turn these two things off. What's up, BP? How's it going? Okay, so I can still drag, I can still hover over these things. Oh, it's not using raycast target, I guess? To detect that? Roberick!
Is the title of the game called Rob? It should be.
36 freaking months. Thank you so very much, Rob. How's it going? 3 freaking years. That's amazing, right? 12, 24, 36? 3-year anniversary. Holy crap. Holy crap. Thank you so much for your support, dude. I think we'll change the name of the game to Robamon. That could be pretty cool. Math with devs. Yeah, long time indeed, BP. How are you doing? I don't actually know what... I guess these are all raycast. If I turn this on, turn these off. Okay, cool, so that disables it. Now I can't drag stuff into the monster bar by accident. But I can try to drag stuff here. It didn't skip it. It's supposed to have skipped it. Something I can do also to help with a little bit of performance early on is clean up my inventory slot here. So every single thing in here right now is raycasting target, and they do not need to. TextMesh Pro already doesn't, but these images don't need to raycast target. Just this thing does. And now that should have Yep, so those changes have now affected my prefab variant called action bar item. Awesome. So we can do the same thing here. We can change this to prefab variant called monster bar item or monster bar view. Make that a prefab variant. More in there for now. But why, oh why, am I still dropping it on action bar item? These are action bar items. And on drop, if I get what's nice is the game's not taking input when I'm pausing. I don't know why. I didn't put any code for that. Also, when I unpause, my cursor is still there. It's weird. So, I can still swap these. When I take 13 and put it on 8, 13 is going back there, 8 is disappearing entirely. Oh, what? I forgot to debug. Must not be getting this. My game's low. Thanks, Tilt. I'll turn it up. I think it's this one. Is that better? Maybe too loud. Is that better? Cool. Thanks, Tilt. Appreciate it. I do have a tendency to start talking lower as I get more and more confused and tired. Okay, so you can stand on monsters. That's convenient. Okay, so let's see. So target exists. Look for action bar item. So action bar item doesn't exist? Fascinating. It's returning 11. I thought this is target. Oh, wait. Yeah. This is where you're dropping it. I could try to target a game object, but I don't think that'll make a difference. I'm trying to make a Game & Boy so that we can't drop items into the, or that we have custom code for when we drop items into the hotbar. Because we have swapping items in our inventory. But I can swap this item with that item, but I don't want them to swap from here to here, which is happening. And I guess just having an entirely different script on each one could help. I don't want to swap items from the top to the bottom. Because when you drag an item from here to here, it's actually just going to place it into your action, your shortcut bar, but it's not going to swap it. And I can't seem to detect when that's happening. It's interesting. Let's try something. So if I drag 10 to 13, yeah, it didn't trigger. 13 to 11. Hello? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. What's up, Kenny Roy? You just made inventory too? Nice. I'm stuck on somehow on how some of these interfaces work. So I was dropping 13 onto 11. I thought this worked the other way around. Oh, on drop is being called on the thing you're dropping to? Okay, hold on. New background music? Oh, it's epic, isn't it? So all I have to do is this. It should be this way or the other way around. I misunderstood how this was working. Okay, so this is just on me. So if I'm an action bar item, don't drop on me. Got it. I thought it was being called on the thing I was dropping to. It's called on the thing. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. 12 with 13, 13 with 7, and nothing happens. Okay. I actually completely forgot what I just realized, but it works now. What did I realize? I realized that this function, okay, this callback is being called on the thing that's being dropped on. So this function is local to that component. So I'm checking to see if that's an action bar item. If it is, I don't drop it. I'm actually going to set this to the action bar, which we'll worry about once we actually have items. Right now, there's no actual item definitions. So I can't actually like swap. These are just like, it's all just visual right now. But okay. Cool. Took you a few minutes. That was like half a day for me. Well, I'm glad you appearing, Kenny, where it happened, just like gave like the osmosis of callback knowledge, or the osmosis of interface knowledge just passed through the Twitchosphere and came into me. We should probably commit because, you know, it's been a few hours. C code project Quasimon. Basic inventory GUI with drag and drop. Yeah, I want the master branch. Oh, wow. Okay. So cool. That's cool. Let's put a panel on this thing. So it's more clear when we're in the UI. Obviously, the UI is going to look nothing like this in the game. I have no idea what it's going to look like. I'm just coding it right now. I guess, so if we have inventory visuals, we need to work on the inventory things, actually being things inside and like adding to it. I think so these buttons, I want to say will always be there, and then we'll say what's inside of them. Or I guess it doesn't matter because I don't think you should be able to drag something there. Like if you have an empty slot in games, can you just like reorder it like that? I don't actually know. It's not super important right now, I guess, because it'll be easy to change to later. Cool. So we have our axe item, so we can make our first item thing. But before we do that, I'm going to take a quick break. It's kind of like the WoW hotbar. Exactly, yeah. So we're trying to basically invent the WoW inventory system and hotbar system like World of Warcraft. So our goal by the end of the stream today, hopefully, should be that I have items in this GUI. I can pick up those items from the world. So I'm going to walk over to this axe and pick it up. It's going to show up in my inventory, and I'm going to be able to take the axe. So actually, my hotbar should render on top of my inventory. I'm going to take my axe from my inventory, assign it to my hotbar, and it's going to be my #1 item in my inventory. So let's make sure we render our action bar and player health bar on top of this overlay, as well as our monster party bar. Okay, before we start doing that, I am going to take a quick break-a-roos and get some water and use the bathroom, and then I'll be right back. Tiny Rabbit, thank you for the follow. Just picked up Shotgun Farmers. Thanks, BP. Appreciate the support. Present pieces of a game I couldn't make in 1 year. Well, to be fair, it took me 5 years to get to this point where I could set this kind of stuff up more easily. So, all right, I'm gonna be right back. The kitty is meowing for some reason. I will return in a few minutes. BRB.
Is Kazi back now? Cause I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh my goodness, Escape, thank you so very much for the 11 months. I'm just taking a quick break. I will be right back, but thank you so much for your support, dude. I am back. I am not dead. BRB. All right, let's get this party back on the road. Oh, it's getting spookier and spookier in here as it gets darker. Maybe I shouldn't be using color correction. Looks better when it's brighter, but when it's darker, boy, do I look like I'm blending into the background. Almost looks like you are a floating head. I know, I'm wearing a dark shirt too. Probably wasn't a good choice. Maybe I should dye my hair. Yep, I was both in the bathroom and feeding my cat and feeding myself. So exactly is the game I'm working on, Escape? I'm working on a game currently called Project Quasimon, and it is a survival monster capture RPG. So it's a survival game where you capture monsters and fight other monsters with your captured monsters. We're working on the inventory system today, so we can actually pick up items, sort them in our inventory, and assign them to our action bar down here. So we've got item drag and drop working. Now let's work on actually picking up items and putting them in our inventory. So we are going to start by picking up this axe. So my mouse cursor is still out when I unpause. Did I forget to change that? Let's see, game controller. Cursor mode locked, cursor visible is false. Why isn't this working? Oh, I'm never unpausing, right? No, I am. Is pause equals not is pause. Pause menu dot hide. Cursor dot visible equals false. Cursor dot lock state. Something else must be changing the lock state. Actor input is changing it. Oh, okay, that actually doesn't move the camera when the cursor is locked. That's cool. Or cursor is unlocked. The hell is my player? My goodness. It's quite a few calls. Yep, I'm still working on Shotgun Farmers. I work on Shotgun Farmers for half the week, and I work on this game for like 1 or 2 days a week. Yeah, no worries, Escape. No worries at all. Okay. So we need to make an item. So our axe is an item. Just make it like that so it's easier to see. Make it bigger for no reason. I guess we'll just put a box collider over it now. I don't even know how I want to do picking up. I guess it'll be like a prompt or whatever, but for now let's just do a box collider. Trigger. This is an item. Items currently just have a sprite. They'll also need, actually I'm going to change this to a texture 2D. So I don't have to change them to sprites. A throwing axe, it looks like one, right? Public string name. Public int ID. Probably items will probably need an ID of some sort. I don't know. Probably have types of items. Yeah. So let's do void on trigger enter. Oh, nice, autofills that. If other dot compare tag player pickup item then we'll say other dot get component player controller Always want to double check to make sure this component actually exists. Public void on picked up. And for now, we're just going to say game object that's set active false. So if other doesn't exist, we return. Otherwise, other.pickedup. Now we need to add this to our inventory. So players don't actually have an inventory. Do we have any? What is an inventory? So there's something called a monster inventory, which isn't actually a regular inventory. So I guess we needed. I guess everything needs an inventory. Players need inventory. Monsters need inventories. Trees need inventories because that's probably what it drops. Yeah, I think inventory should be its own component. Absolutely. So let's just call this. Oh, we have actor inventory. Okay, I'm going to rename this to regular inventory. Just inventory. So I'm more clear. I never would have thought to look for the class actor inventory, which shows that it's a bad class name. So I guess all actors already have an inventory. I guess they don't. And we can use this inventory class. Internet is unstable. Hopefully it's not my internet. I've had my internet company come twice in the last 2 weeks to try to fix my internet, and it's still bad, and it's starting to get ridiculous. Sometimes I get less than 1 megabyte down, but my upload always seems pretty okay. So do actors not have a wake? So the actor controller has a wake? Is yours okay? Let's move this to actor. Plays a buffer spinner every few minutes, thinking it's an OBS setting. Oh, so you're getting a 2-tilt box? Let me double check my upload rates. Where's OBS? There we go. I actually can't change my bitrate without stopping the stream. Okay, don't go anywhere.